Welcome back to Cottage Designs by Erin, where today we're going to be working on a gingerbread table runner. And I'm going to show you how you can make other projects with the same pattern as well. So I purchased these little bitty 3.5-inch gingerbread men from a seller on eBay called Over the River Felt. Over the River Felt. You will receive 12 die-cut gingerbread men that are cut out of felt for $3.45. They do still have them in stock. I checked today. Okay, so now I'm going to move the camera to my hands. So the first thing you're going to do is put your gingerbread down and see what size block you would need. These little men are about 3.5 inches long. So I used a 4-inch block and cut that out to center our little guys here. Next, you're going to applique around the gingerbread die. You can either zigzag stitch it, straight stitch it, buttonhole stitch it. You could do it by hand. You could sew it by machine, whatever you would like to do. So I'm going to bring my machine up. I didn't do a zigzag stitch because these are so tiny. I just sewed around the inside of the shape. And I start at the head. You could start wherever you want. These are not easy to really stitch down because they're very tiny. Anytime you need to turn, you need to put your needle down to hold the felt in place and then stitch. Okay, after you sew your little man down, you're going to need scraps of whatever color you want your background to be. I did mine red and pink. So I'm going to now sew my squares together into a 4-patch block. If you do not want to buy these little gingerbread men, you can get a cookie cutter of your own proportions and cut the gingerbread men out of felt and then decide what size block you would need to make your quilt pattern work. Next, you're going to press the center seam to the darker color. Then you're going to join your pieces like so into a 4 patch. When you join these, you want your seams, one going one direction, one going the other direction, so that they will meet up in the center. Then you will end up with a block that looks like this. Once your block is sewn, you're going to press it. Okay, so out of 12 men, with 12 gingerbread men, I ended up with 3 quilt blocks. I went to Hobby Lobby several weeks ago and purchased gingerbread fabric that looks like this. It's got little boys and girls on it. And I love the pink background. The fabric, let's show you the selvage. The fabric is by Brother Sister Design Studio 2024. Okay, and it is at Hobby Lobby. And when I bought it, it was on sale. I think I got it for $4 a yard. I purchased 2 yards of it because I really liked it. Okay, now let's talk about what can we do with these little blocks. You could sew them together if you had enough, if you had 4 matching. You could sew them together in, you would need more men, but you could sew them together and make a mini quilt out of it. Or you could, if we had one more here, we could make a pillow. Or we could sew them side by side like this and make a runner without any spaces in between. We could just use one block and make a pot holder or a little mug rug, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 3.5-inch strips that I cut out, and I'm going to sew this into a runner like so. It won't be very big, but it'll be big enough. Okay, then you can leave it plain if you want to, or you can go back and you can decorate your little men. I have this really ancient baby rickrack here that was, oh, I don't even know how old it is. It's super old, but it's starting to yellow. It's so old. You could sew this on and you could make it look like real little cookies. If you were super crafty, you could make little clothes for the gingerbread and put clothes on them. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this together and see what it looks like. So my strips were cut in 3.5-inch wide widths. I'm going to press it a little bit. It's a little wrinkly. I love the little festive design on this. There are a lot of colors that you could pull out of this, like the aqua, the red, or the green. Okay, so let me bring my machine back up. Go lay it down flat, and we're going to cut it off even with our block. Now we're going to sew the next block on. Okay, this is a smidge, tiny bit longer, so I'm going to even that up. Okay, now we're going to sew on another piece of the pink gingerbread men for the runner. Pardon me. Now we're going to sew our last block on. This is a little smidge long too, so I'm going to take that little bitty tiny edge off of it. Okay, now we need to put our end pieces on. Okay, we need the end piece on the other end. What's so nice about this being red and pink is you can leave it up for Valentine's Day also. Okay, so now we need our top and bottom piece, which is also going to be cut 3.5 inches wide. And I'm going to, the fabric is directional. Okay. So now we're going to sew this on the top. First I need to press my seams in. Okay, I'm going to now sew the top on. Okay, we're going to cut our end off. And I'm going to use a ruler this time, so I'm going to make sure I get it straight. Okay, now we're going to sew our bottom strip on. I don't know, this is not going to be long enough, I don't think. Oh, it will be long enough, okay. Wasn't sure. So here we have our sweet little gingerbread runner. Let me bring the camera up. Okay, so here's our little runner. So now I would have to go back and quilt this, and I need to go back and either dress the little men or decorate them somehow. I've got little miniature buttons. I could put a little bow on the head for the little girls. It's whatever you want to do with it. So here's what we learned. You can buy these gingerbread men pre-cut from Over the River Felt, 12 of them, for $3.45. You will need scraps for your background. I used red and pink. I bought 2 yards of the fabric from Hobby Lobby. All the strips were cut 3.5 inches wide. If you do not want to buy the pre-cut dies, get your own little gingerbread cookie cutter, cut it out of felt, see how tall it is, and see how much clearance you need all the way around it to make your own block, and then do your own design. This is darling. I mean, this is a great idea on how to make different projects: pillows, table runners, miniature quilts, full-size quilts, just using a cookie cutter and fabric that you have on hand. Thank you for watching. Please stop back by for more, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up.